Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. Before that weekend, our marriage looked fine from the outside. We weren't the shouting kind. We paid bills on time, showed up to barbecues, and smiled for pictures. But inside the house, there were cracks, the kind that start quietly. Denise had changed over the past year. More nights out, fewer explanations. She'd come home late, smelling like perfume I didn't recognize, always with a story that didn't need checking. I stopped asking for details. I just asked for respect. That was the only thing I'd ever really wanted from her. Not perfection, just communication. She used to laugh with me. Now she laughed at me. That Friday, Denise stood in the doorway, her suitcase open, throwing in clothes like she was running late for a flight. "Girls' trip, Lakeview cabin. No phones, no stress," she said, smiling like the world revolved around her timing. I leaned against the counter. "Fine. Just text when you get there. And maybe once in the morning. That's all I'm asking." She rolled her eyes. "You and your check-ins. I'll be fine." "It's not a rule," I said. "It's respect." She laughed under her breath. "Spencer, you make everything sound like a job briefing." Then she kissed me, grabbed her bag, and left. That was Friday evening. By Saturday morning, I hadn't heard a thing. I texted. Made it safe? Nothing. By nightfall, I called. Straight to voicemail. Sunday morning, same. No updates, no photos, no messages. Around noon, I called again, and that's when I noticed the silence cut off faster than before. The screen flashed, "Message not delivered." I tried again. It went straight to voicemail. I frowned, tried once more from my work phone. It rang once, then disconnected. That was the moment I realized she'd blocked me. No fights, no warning, just erased me mid-weekend. I didn't yell, didn't throw anything. I just sat there, staring at the phone like it was a test I'd already passed. A few hours later, I scrolled to her friend Mara's number. When she picked up, her voice was bright, loud music in the background. "Hey, Spencer, everything okay?" "Tell Denise," I said quietly, "that I just need 1 minute of honesty." She paused. "She's here. I'll tell her." I hung up and waited. 30 minutes later, my phone started buzzing nonstop. Missed calls and one text that said, "You didn't have to involve my friends." That was all the confirmation I needed. By Sunday night, she was still at the girls' trip, but the timing of her unblocking me told me everything I needed to know. Guilt is loud, even through a phone screen. She texted again. "You're being weird. I just needed some space." I replied once. "Space is fine. Silence isn't." No answer. I didn't chase it. I made dinner, washed the dishes, and took the trash out. By the time I came back, 3 new messages had popped up, long ones about how she didn't mean to upset me and how Mara made her turn her phone off. I didn't buy it. She came home late Monday night, suitcase thumping on the floor like nothing happened. "You're alive," she said, dropping her purse. "So are you," I said. "How was the trip?" She yawned. "Relaxing. You should try it sometime." I folded my arms. "You blocked me." Her eyes flicked up, sharp and defensive. "Oh my God, that?" "I was just tired of your texts blowing up my phone." "I sent 2, I said. She gave a short laugh. "Well, I just wanted peace." "Peace doesn't mean cutting your husband off like a telemarketer." "Spencer, stop turning every small thing into a crime scene." I nodded once. "Okay." She frowned. "What?" "Okay. You can have all the space you want. I'll take some too." Her laugh sounded nervous this time. "You're acting dramatic." "Not yet," I said, "but keep watching." That ended the conversation. She went upstairs. I stayed at the table, my phone on silent, already planning what came next. If she wanted distance, I'd give it to her. The kind she couldn't edit, block, or delete. The next morning she acted like the weekend had never happened. She came downstairs in a robe, humming, and poured coffee into the mug. "Don't look at me like that," she said. I didn't answer. She sat across from me. "You're really still mad?" "I'm not mad," I said. "I'm adjusting." "To what?" "To how things actually are." She smirked. "Oh, here we go." The lecture. "No lecture," I said, keeping my tone level. "You made your point loud and clear. You don't want to be reached. So now I'm planning around that." Her smile faded just a little. "Planning what?" finances, accounts, schedules, things that don't depend on trust. She blinked, then laughed like I was joking. You're serious? I'm consistent, I said. You're unbelievable, Spencer. One girl's trip, and you're acting like I robbed a bank. I didn't say you robbed anything, I said quietly. I just learned not to keep everything in one place. She turned toward the sink, muttering, You really have a control problem. Maybe, I said. Or maybe I just prefer knowing where I stand. She didn't reply. That night, she came to bed late, smelling like a new perfume I didn't recognize. She scrolled on her phone with her back to me until she fell asleep. I lay there watching the ceiling fan turn. The silence between us had changed. It wasn't anger anymore. It was a distance, clean, cold, organized. And for the first time, I realized how peaceful that could feel. By morning, I'd made another quiet decision. I wouldn't confront her again. I'd prepare. Because sometimes peace comes after you stop asking for it. I spent that week tightening the bolts on my life. Passwords changed. Joint cards split. Bills rerouted. No drama, no warning, just quiet corrections to what had been too loose for too long. Denise didn't notice at first. She was too busy pretending nothing had shifted. She'd hum around the kitchen, talk to Mara on speaker, drop phrases like, "We needed that trip," and it cleared my head. One night, she said, "You should take a break too. You're wound up all the time." "I'm fine," I said, checking an invoice. She leaned against the counter. "You know, this whole silent treatment thing doesn't make you mysterious. It makes you boring." "Good," I said. "I could use some boring." She laughed, a little too loud, like it might sting me. "You're really punishing me for one weekend?" "I'm not punishing anyone," I said. "I'm reorganizing the system that broke." She blinked. "System? You talk about marriage like it's a spreadsheet. Maybe because one of us needs to balance it." She rolled her eyes. "You're ridiculous. I can't live like this." "You already are," I said. She left the room muttering something about meeting Mara. I heard the front door close a few minutes later. I didn't follow. That night, I wrote out every account we shared. What was hers? What was mine? What would end cleanly if I had to cut the cord? No anger, just math. Around midnight, my phone buzzed. A message from Denise. "Don't wait up. Staying at Mara's." I stared at it for a long second, then typed back, "Got it." No fight, no question mark, just acknowledgement. If she wanted the illusion of freedom, I'd give her the real version. By Thursday, I had already drafted an exit plan in my head. I wasn't sure when I'd need it, but I knew I would. Because once someone blocks you out, the next step is deciding how long you'll stay muted. Friday morning started like any other. Then my phone buzzed with a bank alert, a charge at a boutique hotel 3 cities away, another for dinner, another for gas at a rental car company. She must have still had the old card. I hadn't canceled it yet. Part of me wanted to avoid that argument. Now I saw what hesitation cost. She'd gone again. No warning, no message. I called once, straight to voicemail. Twice. Blocked again. I didn't waste a third call. I opened the app, took screenshots of the charges, then scrolled to Mara's name and hit dial. She picked up fast. "Hey, Spencer, now's not a good time." "Then make it quick," I said evenly. "Tell Denise she just paid for her own goodbye." A pause. "What does that mean?" "Tell her she'll understand." And I hung up. I closed my laptop, stood, and began. The box from the garage went on the bed. I started with her closet. Clothes, shoes lined up like props in a show I'd already stopped watching. I didn't rush. I folded everything carefully, even the things I hated. The house stayed silent. When I finished, I wrote her name on the box in black marker and carried it to the truck. At Gerald's door, her father, he opened before I could knock. "Spencer?" "She blocked me," I said. "She's out of town. These are hers." He looked down at the boxes, sighed. "I tried talking to her. She doesn't listen to anyone." "She'll have time to," I said. "I've already started filing." He rubbed the back of his neck. "You're really done?" "I was done when she hit the block the first time," I said. When I got home, I poured a drink, sat on the couch, and waited. 30 minutes later, the phone lit up like a fire alarm. Denise, unblocked again, calling over and over. I let it ring. Some lessons only land in silence. She showed up the next evening, headlights washing across the living room wall. I didn't get up until she started pounding on the door. "Spencer, open it!" I opened it halfway. She pushed past me, same as before, same perfume, same tone. "What is wrong with you?" she snapped. "You humiliated me. You told Mara something cryptic, and now everyone's acting weird." "You blocked me again," I said. "That's not how marriage works." "Oh my God, it was a misunderstanding." "2 times?" She flinched, then straightened. "I just needed time to think. You're always breathing down my neck." "I asked for one thing. Communication." She crossed her arms. "You make everything sound like a contract." "Because contracts have consequences," I said. She scoffed. "You sound like a judge. I can't believe you packed my things. My father called me crying." "I didn't throw anything out," I said. "I kept it clean." "You're unbelievable," she said, her voice rising. "You just give up?" "I didn't give up," I said. "You signed out." Her eyes flashed. "You'll regret this." I reached for the envelope on the counter and held it out. "Here's the start of our new arrangement. The papers are ready." She stared, confused, then grabbed them and read the header. "You filed for divorce?" "I told you," I said. She let out a small, sharp laugh. "You're serious? You'd throw away years because I didn't text back?" I shook my head. "Not because you didn't text. Because you thought I'd never respond." She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You think this makes you strong? You're just proving everyone right, that you can't handle a woman with a life." "I can handle a woman," I said. "I just won't handle disrespect." Her jaw tightened. "You'll hear from my lawyer." "I already have mine," I said, opening the door. She stood there for a moment, waiting for me to flinch. I didn't. When she finally walked out, she turned and said, "Everyone's going to hear about this." "Make it interesting," I said. The door shut behind her. This time, it locked on its own. The next few weeks felt lighter. There was no shouting, no guessing, no middle-of-the-night messages to decode. Just paperwork, signatures, and quiet. Denise sent long emails through her lawyer at first, filled with half-truths about emotional pressure and unfair separation. I didn't reply to any of them directly. My lawyer handled it. She started realizing it wasn't a bluff. Her messages changed tone. "We can fix this," she wrote once. "Let's talk before it's too late." It was already too late. Her friend Mara kept her distance after the trip fiasco. When she realized Denise had used her as a shield, she stopped replying to her. Gerald called me one evening and said, "She's been staying with a coworker. Can't keep a place on her own yet." "I hope she finds her footing," I told him. "She's still telling people you blindsided her." "I don't need an audience," I said. The divorce was finalized by early spring. She got her personal items and a fair slice of savings. I kept the house and the van. She'd called it cold, but to me it was simple math. Clear lines, no confusion. Sometimes I caught myself listening for her footsteps out of habit, but the silence always answered. It said everything was finally in its right place. By summer, life had settled into something steady. Work, coffee, gym, repeat. The kind of rhythm that used to feel boring but now feels earned. That's when I met Sierra. She ran a small landscaping business out of her pickup. I met her when she parked across 2 spots at the supply store. "Need a hand backing up?" I asked. She grinned. "Only if you promise not to lecture me about angles." We laughed. We talked about trucks, work, and early mornings. No games, no performances. She texted when she said she would. I did too. Simple. Respectful. One Saturday, we were loading bags of soil into her truck when my phone buzzed on the tailgate. "Denise." I let it ring. Sierra glanced at me. "You need to get that?" "No," I said, picking up another bag. "Wrong number." Later that night, when I walked inside, the house felt right. Still, balanced, mine. A few days later, I got a voicemail from Denise. Her voice was softer now. "I didn't realize what I was doing," she said. "I thought you'd always chase me." I was wrong. I listened once, deleted it, and went back to my workbench. Peace doesn't announce itself. It just shows up one day when you stop waiting for chaos to call back. I wasn't angry. I wasn't even proud. I was just done. And that's the cleanest kind of ending there is. Thank you for watching.